So the man, this was really weird. The man went over until it's almost as big as like a hotel room where the phone is. It's not a public phone, it's the house's phone. But back in the day when phones were mysterious, when the manor house was at its full glory and they put the phone in, I think they built about the time rich people could get phones in Kentucky, in western Kentucky, is when they built the manor house. So they had a phone, whatever, lobby. It's a single phone in the middle of it. There's benches that line up like it's an office. It's not an office. It's a single person. Whatever they were going to do, maybe they were going to call the grocer, and they needed a lot of clerks to run in and out and carry all the bags in the old days out of the wagon. But it's a ginormous area. It's furnished with furniture that's meant to last forever. Like, and if they don't end this system, whoever, if God doesn't come back with the Armageddon stuff and start a new system, or if man doesn't just deplete it, these benches will be here 3, 4, 5, 10, 15,000 years from now. This manor house will be standing, and these benches will be here. If a wildfire or a meteorite doesn't smash it, well, it doesn't really matter. But the man, he was making a phone call. I didn't understand what he was, And it turns out, I asked him later, I said, buddy, who you were talking to? It sounded like you were like a coach trying to coach a Little League basketball team. What was going on there, bud? And he says, I was trying to, and he says it was his nephew, but I don't know if he had any siblings. I can't remember. I'll research that and make sure about some siblings, whether the man had siblings. I thought he said his nephew, but maybe it was like his cousin's nephew or something. I don't know. He claimed it was his nephew, had just gone to college, and he was trying to teach him something about sales. And the man, he sells, illegal fireworks and pornographic graphic novels sold to 19 and up only. But they're like $4.95. I don't know where they're coming from. It's like, do you think it would cost more than that to print them? And the materials nowadays, the ink and the binding and all this, they're illustrated as color illustrations. These things are coming from where there's a bunch of artists in a starving land. There's starving artists within a starving land. Like perhaps there's a moat and a wall around this city where these people live because they don't know what they're worth, because these things, they're worth like $25, whatever you call it, when you have to buy it right from the guy. It's like wholesale or whatever. Retail is a $34 graphic novel. The man is stamped on him, $4.95. He can't sell them for any more than $4.95. He signed a contract. He can't sell them. He could get $35-$40 from these things. People instantaneously, they run up to the man, they plop down $100. They get like whatever, 14 of them or whatever. Dogs aren't good at math. $100, $4.95. Maybe they're getting 16. I don't even know. Maybe they're getting 20 some. I have no idea. They run away immediately. They sell them for $79.95 on the corner. Then that guy takes them. He sells them on the internet for $125. You tell me. And the man's happy. He's smiling because he thinks he's part of commerce. He thinks he's in the blockchain all of a sudden. He thinks he's in the blockchain. But there he sits on the phone, and he's trying to tell this college student, his nephew, about college. All right? And the kid's going to college. I don't even know if the man ever went to college. The man couldn't pass third grade. He couldn't get out of third grade, I don't think. It doesn't matter. But he's like saying, here's the thing. If you want to be a good salesman, I want you to do this. He says, get out the Norman Mailer book and read. And the kid was yelling on the phone. He's not reading a book. So he says, all right, here's what you do. It started, I think, Dustin Hoffman or somebody, a couple of guys back in the 80s or the 90s, they made a movie. It's called Death of a Salesman. It's from some kind of play, whatever. It's glorious. It teaches you everything you want to know about salesmen. Unfortunately, the man actually says to his nephew, at the end, he kills himself to try to get the insurance money to give to his family to finally make a big score for his family because he's a loser insurance guy. Salesman guy who can never get, can never get ahead. He can never get the refrigerator fixed. He rails about planned obsolescence. So he finally crashes his car on purpose. But he has an indemnity clause in the contract of his life insurance policy. He can't commit suicide, so they don't give him a dime. And his family has to go into hock and beg for the money to bury him in a pauper's grave in a pine box. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this is your thing you're trying to pump this kid up with? That's the story? That's the story you're trying to pump this kid up with? Come on. No. That's not the way to go about it. You got to have a little bit more of a rosy picture and highlight the good things. You're talking about the end game of a loser who crashed and burned and left behind a scarred, tortured family behind him. That's not that's not the image. But the man wasn't even listening. He went on to tell the kid about some other things about, I don't even know what it was, about double jeopardy. I mean, I wasn't talking about the TV show. He was like, son, I could hear him saying, listen, Double Jeopardy, it's the funnest thing you ever could do in your life. And I was wondering, how did this oxygen deprivation guy ever learn about double? Oh, my goodness, who knows? This poor kid, the best thing he could do is just hang up. He could say, I can't hear you. We got a bad connection. I can't make out. Get closer to your phone. Get closer to your phone.